Rise and conquer by day, rise and conquer by night.
Right, so MMA TV for Rise and Conquer. This is the first one we've ever done. Changing it up a little bit after the 10 year of normal shows and building it up. So I think the first thing to do is obviously introduce ourselves. So I'm Carl, one of the owners and co-promoters, and this is Andrew, another owner and co-promoter, an ex-professional fighter, veteran MMA fighter.
Not ex. I'm still going.
Sorry.
I'm still going. I'm still alive. This guy died.
I didn't say
You're trying to retire him?
I'm trying to retire him already.
Still trying to get a fight. I'm available.
Yeah, so we'll just start by talking about the show, the last one, the decade one, and where it's won from, and any highlights that you think around it, and what we're doing differently. So I think in terms of the show in general, 10 years is a pretty long time for a UK MMA event. Plenty of good people fighting the show, plenty of good cards over the years, but I think possibly the last one was our best fight card to date.
For level of amateurs, and we had some of the best guys in the country. We have like guys who were fighting for the #1 flyweight, who were fighting for our title. We had like, I think Sammy's like 9-2, was he?
Something like that, yeah.
And the guy, I think Jay was like 6-2. These are like big amateur records, really.
Yeah.
So it is. I think it's getting to be one of the better shows for like competitive fights for amateurs in the country.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that everybody wants to fight the better people as well, to stamp the name on them rankings.
Yeah, that's what makes it hard when people just want like give me fights, but the shows work with every coach. I feel they kind of understand the value of taking these 50-50 fights.
Yeah, no, it works out better for their development and moving forward for the pro ranks. I mean, we've had good success over the past, but some of the amateurs coming through to being pros. But yeah, just touching back on our fight card, I think the Naeem and Lewis Hamilton fight, that must have been the fight for the #1 amateur flyweight in the country. You've got the Scottish #1 and the UK #1. I'm sure there's a guy in Wales called Jack Wills that will probably want to fight them at some point, but yeah, they're putting a stamp on something, having them top ranked amateurs fight each other. And again, Adam Thompson and Henry Vivian.
Oh yeah, both 7-0 and 6-0, like, it's nightmare to match both of them. So I'm really pleased that both guys and coaches would go up for the fight.
And they both came to fight as well, which is great. And then you obviously touched on Sammy Hogue. I'm sure he's, I think you're right, 9-1, 10-1, maybe 9-2, been out for a couple of years. Probably was one of the highest ranked amateurs in the country before he took his time out, but still, when you look at his CV, his resume, and how he's fought in the UK, I don't think you can get a harder fight for Jay Finch when he came.
No, it was a good fight.
I mean, Jay's striking on that fight was fantastic. I think some of the kicks on that probably worth talking about because it's a little bit controversial as well.
Yeah. I didn't see it live. I watched bits of it, but I did watch it back. I did.
Yeah, I watched it back as well, and I think.
Do you want to explain what happened in the fight and maybe what the results? Maybe just explain the results.
So the results were both guys fought the one. Rightly so, it was a very close fight. When you watch it back, I watched it back the next day.
It was a start to finish.
It was unanimous.
Oh,
It wasn't split. But when you look down the judges' scorecards, I hadn't watched the fight. I kind of agreed with the way the judges had it on the day, mainly down to Jay's striking, the clinical part of the damage made with his body kicks. Kind of made the difference. I thought Sammy done well because the distance, but it was that distance that made him look a little bit off the back.
When I watched, I didn't watch it live. I just seen bits of it. But when I watched it back, I did score for Sammy. I'm definitely, I'm not against anything like the judging and stuff as well, you know. But because when I spoke to people, I did think that Sammy had it when I watched it. But then when I spoke to people, and they were like a bit shocked that I said that, because they said that when you were there you would hear that Jay's kicks like leather across his body and stuff as well. But I don't know, maybe that scored the boxing more than the kicks as well, so I do feel it definitely wasn't like the robbery of the century. It was a close fight. It was a good fight. It was a good fight.
But again, proves out the fact that two top guys in the country fighting each other a 50-50 fight, and that's unfortunately that's the outcome in these. Two closely matched. Yeah. It was the same in the Naeem and Lewis Hamilton fight as well. There was arguments both ways in that fight. When you watch that one back, you could have scored it 2-2 going into the last round, or 3-1 to either guy. Me personally, I scored it for Naeem on that one, but there was definitely arguments there for Lewis winning that fight. It was very, very close.
I watched it live. I think I watched the first must have been 3 or 4 rounds, and I think it was maybe the second round where I thought that Lewis was going to look to finish Naim, who was like walking down and just like didn't stop throwing punches, and then Naim kind of came back a bit, so I didn't watch that one to score it, so I don't even want to comment, but
No, it was very close, yeah, very close. I mean, them two guys could fight again and you probably get a completely different outcome. It's one of them fights. Probably both looking to start a pro career soon as well when you look at how much experience they've had. Looking back again though, what did we do differently on this one? I think we've struggled the last 3 or 4 years. We're in identity, trying to hit the pro ranks. We got there, everything's gone through the roof pricing wise. We realised how hard it is to match pros. Do you just want to talk about how difficult that process was?
It definitely is hard to match the pros. Definitely, we didn't get one pro fight on this card, and that's not for want to try, but it was a bit more difficult. I would still like to, moving forward, have like 3 or 4 pro fights. But they do get expensive and hard to put on sometimes, but I definitely feel like I would like us to have a pro card as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's always going to be in the aim. That's what we want to do moving forward, have that full pro card.
But I have had with the amateur teams that we're using, and we're kind of, I feel in some of these weight classes we're getting a good little division, you know. There's a few people who are coming up. I mean, there's quite a few of the bantamweights. Do you know how we should have actually started with the weigh-ins, really? Like,
we probably should have. We jump around a little bit, but like what we're saying with weigh-ins, when we talk about these 50-50 amateur fights, how does same-day weigh-ins help that? How do the guys like it? Because we did have a bit of pushback at first, didn't we? You get both sides of the argument.
So this was our first show. We went back to same-day weigh-ins. Now we used to do same-day weigh-ins before, and then the rest of the country was all doing day before, so we had a match and follow suit. And then recently, there's our friends at BMF and Golden Ticket. They have went back to same-day weigh-in for amateurs, and the title fights the day before, like that. So we decided to go that way. And the main reason was to do with trying to do these video weigh-ins for the day before. It's just awful, isn't it?
Absolute shambles, honestly. I don't know what's happened over the last few years. When we first started doing it, it wasn't that bad. It's not the best solution, but it wasn't that bad. But now, some of the videos that you see coming through are absolutely ridiculous.
It's just blatant cheating.
Yeah, 100%.
So we get a video. So there's meant to be this like criteria of what happens with the video. So the people, they're meant to calibrate the scales, and it's meant to be, they're away from a wall. It's a continuous thing. They get a password. They've got to say the password. But some of them, I would like to think sometimes it's just people being stupid. But some of them, it's definitely just blatant cheating. And like we get this video, and then we say we can't accept that, and then they just say, oh well, we started drinking. So it's like tough. So we have to then show the other person's coach. And then they generally just like, what can we do? We're just going to take the fight. And then the guy comes, and they're massive. It's like it's like obvious, it's huge, and I feel it's really hard to keep your integrity when you kind of know what's going on. So I feel it's amateur fighting as well. Like
it should be fresh.
It's also impossible for these people work for everybody to have to come up the day before and cancel work, and then there's obviously we've got to pay for hotels for everybody, and it just doesn't become feasible. So I did think the same day we were better. We definitely had a little bit of pushback at first, some of the coaches, but everybody did it. Everybody seemed to like it. We had no complaints about it. And do you know what? It was fair. Yeah, it was fair. Everybody weighed in on their exact scales, and there was nobody cutting weight. And there's one of my guys who fought in our show. He's fighting again next weekend. You know, like he's not to cut weight again. Same on BMF. So there's been no weight cutting, so he can fight again. Fast turnaround for him. I liked it better. What about you?
No, it definitely worked a lot better, and the flow during the day, the guys coming in, and to put it that way, same day weigh-ins, everybody made weight. There wasn't anybody that missed weight. It was absolutely plain sailing from the beginning to the opening of the weigh window to the end.
Yeah, there was no awkward conversations with other people's coaches and have to try and like come to some agreement. You're right, there was nothing, not one thing. No. All the titles, they did same day before weigh-in still, because they are the more experienced guys. I think I don't have a problem with some of a lot more experienced amateurs. I don't think I have a problem with that, but I think we've kind of got to figure out
what the balance is between.
Yeah, but like, what is it? Do we say 5 fights? Do we say 10 fights, or do we just do the amateur title fights.
I mean, look at the other way. Take Sammy Hock and Jay Finch, both massive amount of experience. Quite rightly, they could argue for a day before weigh-in because of the experience that they've had, probably the last step before they go pro. But look at how well they both performed, how well they both communicated. Came in, they were all happy, never missed weight. Sammy actually turned up the day before weigh-ins with Naeem, and he had checked his weight on the scales and he was more or less bang on then. So it just shows you that that weight cut process is going to kill off a lot of people's next year, the following week. The recovery process is going to start, where Sammy's probably went straight back to work on the Monday.
Yeah.
And so is Jay, not an issue. And that's what we kind of want to promote, and they should be able, like you've just mentioned, somebody's fighting in a couple of weeks' time for a title, they should be able to just jump in and out of fights. The fighting amateur at the end of the day, they should be getting that experience. But I thought the day went perfect in terms of weigh-ins and everybody was happy about it.
Honestly, I'm not even against day before weigh-in for amateurs. I'm against now the video weigh-ins. I remember the head coach at Ace Shaj, he made a video and he showed loads of ways.
I was just about to mention that
He showed loads of ways of how to cheat the videos, and like me being maybe a bit naive before, I thought, oh, people's not going to do that, you're still going to, but it definitely does happen quite a bit, and it's just cheating. It's cheating, and how can you even accept it? So I
definitely think it's the right step in the right direction.
I think it's the only way to do it. I don't think there's another way to do it.
It keeps them healthy. If people want to do IMOFs, they can fit them in between fights.
Yeah, IMOFs is the same day anyway, so
every day is a weigh-in day at IMOFs, so
it
is good for the sport. And then just moving forward on the next chapter, obviously we've got new branding, we've got new logos, we've got new belts, we've got new champions, we've got defended champions that's come from one era to the next. What do we do next? We've got double champs, we've got 2 division weight champs. I think we've kind of got divisions in bantamweight, featherweight, we've got probably a lightweight division.
Yeah.
So what do we do next? What's the next show's going to entail?
I think we definitely have a few number one contenders who are going to have to fight each other, and hopefully we can get all them set off. I think we have a couple of matches for some of these titles that's just been won, so we already have people in mind who will step up from them, so hopefully we can start announcing them soon as well. I just want to keep building it. I would really like to get a few pro fights on. It's just it does prove to be difficult sometimes, but I definitely think we can do it and push forward. We just need to figure out how to do it as well.
I mean, it's got to happen eventually. Look at the talent that's come on and went through. We've got a massive alumni now fighting on the world stage for the last, I would say, 6 years. I think they've went from the short to bigger promotions. It can only get there eventually. It can only naturally progress to the pro card because of the name that people get for fighting them.
But I think we should keep going where we are. Go for these 50-50 well-matched fights. I think the job that you do looking after all of the fighters, do you know all the little touches that happens? You don't really get that in all of the other shows, you know, like even just something daft like keeping your own gloves.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I remember even when I fought in Bellator and they gave us a bag, and I felt so special because I had a Bellator bag. I just feel I felt more appreciated because I got a Bellator bag than anything else. It does. I do think it is a nice thing for people, and hopefully we'll start doing a bit more stuff like t-shirts and things going forward. But
yeah, alright.
We just want to make sure that we'll keep putting on good fights and keep selling out the Sunderland Live Arena.
Yeah, I mean, big venue, but that's we've been selling it out for the last 2 years now, so let's just keep moving forward with the good amateur fights and bringing the pros in when needed. So obviously, we're in the 3-month spell, moving on to the October card. Are we going to start matching now? Is that what's?
Yeah, I've started now. I have a couple of fights, and I've got a few I would like to make, so I just need to get the go-ahead from other coaches. So I have just started messaging around and trying to get people to match for our next show on October the 3rd. So, and it's going to be exactly the same. The title fights will be day before weigh-in for the amateur titles, and the amateurs will be same day weigh-in. So there's a lot more weight classes for the same day weigh-ins. So if you would like to be involved with that, please get your coaches to drop us a message.
Rising conquer by day, rising conquer by night.